Hello, and welcome to another edition of From the Source, COVID-19 Pandemic Edition. I'm your host, Elizabeth Johnson, bringing you the latest information related to the pandemic, which impacts your community. The good news is that New York continues to have one of the lowest infections rates of coronavirus. In August, results on a daily basis are below 1%. A lot of effort has gone into making these numbers acceptable, and it's mainly because people have been wearing masks, socially distancing, wearing PPE, along with frequent hand washing. With the aftermath of Tropical Storm Isaias, many areas have had difficulty with the restoration of electricity and utilities. The frustration level is high, with many residents out of service for 5 days or more. Some have turned to their local government officials to gain traction in the restoration. If you live in a village, your first call should be to your village. Local governments have banded together as a group, making them a powerful voice. The Town of North Hempstead Supervisor Judy Bosworth and the Town Council members have been actively working to communicate with PSE&G Long Island, and have reached out to the New York State Attorney General, who has launched an investigation into the poor communication and restoration of power. The lack of information and inability of customers to reach the utility company has compounded the fury of their poor performance. Many families have lost the extensive food reserves they have stored up in response to the pandemic to lessen their exposure to going out to stores. Their efforts are for naught, and hundreds of thousands of dollars of food have been thrown away. PSEG Long Island does have a claim form available on their website, but whether they will pay out any funds is yet to be determined. PSEG's link to their claim form is www.pseglongisland.com/myaccount/customer support/claims. Nassau County Executive Laura Curran and Town of North Hempstead officials, as well as village mayors, are calling for PSEG Long Island to pay up on the spoiled food. Island Harvest has launched a free food package distribution program specifically to help out our seniors in need. To see if you qualify, contact Marilyn at islandharvest.org or call 631-873-4775. In an effort to assist residents, the Town of North Hempstead opened up cooling centers at Clinton G. Martin Park and the Port Washington Senior Center. They have been encouraging all residents without access to a cool environment, particularly seniors and those at risk for heat-related illnesses, to use a cooling center during the heat wave. Project Independence is offering free transportation to and from the cooling centers for seniors during this difficult time. Cleanup efforts. The Town of North Hempstead Highway Department has done a tremendous job removing debris and clearing roadways. Unfortunately, the total recovery is expected to take several weeks. Residents who have tree limbs and debris on their property can dispose of them by following normal yard waste pickup rules. And yard waste that is too large will be accepted at the Solid Waste Management Authority's Sunday residential drop-off at 999 West Shore Road from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Upcoming residential drop-off dates include Sunday, August 23rd, September 6th, and September 20th. Do not push debris into the street. This presents numerous safety hazards, not only for the road crews, but also for motorists and pedestrians. Our schools will reopen. The infection rate statewide, especially in the Long Island region, is below the established threshold, and therefore all school districts are permitted to open this fall. Whether your school will be in person, remote, or a hybrid model will be determined locally by each individual school district under strict Department of Health guidelines. These guidelines are the same for public and private schools. Every school district was required to submit a reopening plan to the Department of Health. The plan includes 4 basic principles. 1. The reopening of school facilities for in-person instruction. 2. Monitoring of health conditions. 3. Containment of potential transmission of the 2019 novel coronavirus, COVID-19. And 4. Closure of school facilities and in-person instruction if necessitated by widespread virus transmission. Additionally, school districts must post their remote learning plans as well as plans for testing and tracing students and staff on their websites. These plans must be transparent and accessible and have been posted on the school district's website. Parents and teachers must feel safe and secure in each school district's plan to return to school. And to that end, school districts are required to engage all parties. Specifically, they must set dates for 3 to 5 discussion sessions with parents and the community to be held by August 21st, and at least 1 separate discussion session for teachers specifically. In accordance with the guidance from the New York State Education Department, parents may opt for their child to participate in remote instruction only. All children opting for remote-only instruction will receive a class assignment schedule and will receive instruction from their classroom teachers through Zoom video conferencing. Evictions. The moratorium on evictions in New York State has been extended until September 4th. The moratorium was first put in place in March to protect residential and commercial tenants facing financial hardship due to the pandemic. As long as we're in the middle of the pandemic, there will be no evictions. Traveling quarantine. New York State's travel advisory requires individuals entering New York to quarantine for 14 days after traveling to an area with significant community spread, and has expanded to include Rhode Island, while Delaware and Washington, D.C. have been removed from the list. In New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio announced that he is setting up checkpoints at entry points into New York City to enforce compliance with the travel advisory, including bridges and tunnels and Penn Station. If you're traveling into New York City by car, bus, or train, prepare to be stopped and asked if you have been to a coronavirus hotspot. That means the New York City Sheriff Office will pull over cars at places like the Lincoln Tunnel and the George Washington Bridge, and city contact tracers will greet arriving travelers at the Port Authority bus terminal and New York Penn Station. Travelers from states with high coronavirus infection rates will be required to fill out forms and quarantine for 2 weeks. Travelers who have visited designated areas from the travel advisory will be asked to complete a traveler form and quarantine themselves. New York City Sheriff Joseph Usita said deputies will be mobile and located at random entry points for undetermined amounts of time. And added license plate readers will determine, for instance, every 6th car entering to be stopped. Hotels look to comply with all regulations and laws, including the newly introduced and widespread quarantine requirements. Having just gone through this experience, I can tell you that a contact tracer will phone you at the number listed on your form. You'll then be asked a series of questions related to who you are, where you went, and who you encountered during your trip. You will also be asked a series of questions related to your health history. And finally, you will be contacted daily for 14 days and must answer a daily survey related to your health. With new coronavirus clusters sprouting aboard ships overseas, the U.S. cruise industry is extending its suspension of operations through October. A no-sail order for U.S. waters initially issued by the CDC in March has been extended through September 30th. Bowling alleys and gyms. New Yorkers can hit up their local bowling alleys as early as Monday, and gyms will also soon be receiving guidance from the state on reopening. Governor Andrew Cuomo said bowling alleys will open with some changes and adjustments. Bowling alleys can reopen at no more than 50% capacity. Bowlers and staff will have to wear face coverings, and every other lane will be closed. Cleaning and disinfecting protocols will also be in place, especially for shared and rented equipment. Governor Cuomo announced that gyms across the state will remain closed. The governor noted that scientists have found gyms to be a place that COVID-19 has spread in other states, leading to those states to subsequently close their gyms again. The state's budget director, Robert Mujica, said the state is actively considering reopening proposals submitted by gyms across the state. More information will become available next week on the possible reopening of gyms. State updates. The State Department of Financial Services has issued new guidance to New York health insurers to ensure that patients are not charged extra fees for PPE used by healthcare providers. This action will ensure that New Yorkers are protected against excessive fees associated with necessary healthcare and preventative care. The guidance also instructs providers to refund PPE fees to New Yorkers who are already charged such fees. Any New Yorkers with complaints about insurance policy should contact the DFS at www.dfs.newyork.gov/complaint or through the consumer hotline at 212-480-6400. The New York Forward Loan Fund, which was set up by the New York State to support small businesses and residential landlords with COVID-19 related costs and expenses, announced this week that more than $2.3 million has been awarded to support 61 businesses who are unable to receive federal COVID assistance, 54 of which were provided to minority and women-owned business enterprises. Applications are still being accepted at www.newyorkloanfund.com. Department of Motor Vehicles. The DMV is expanding New York's ability to complete certain transactions through secure drop boxes. There are over 60 tests that can be done online. New Yorkers can use drop boxes for services including license plate surrenders, address changes, and license and registration renewals. Customers using drop boxes must wear face coverings and maintain social distancing at all times. Drop boxes are located at all state-run DMV offices and are available during regular hours, Monday through Saturday. Unemployment claims. During the pandemic, the New York Department of Labor has prevented more than $1 billion in unemployment insurance fraud. Nassau County District Attorney Madeline Singlis is actively working and prosecuting cases of fraudulent claims and has successfully caught and prosecuted numerous cases recently. The Department of Labor has stopped more than 40,000 fraudulent claims since March. During the last 5 months, the Department of Labor has referred more unemployment insurance fraud cases to the federal prosecutors than in the last 10 years combined. Health resources. After the power outage and frustration compounded by the heat wave during the pandemic, it seems as though many are suffering both physically and mentally. Mental health resources are available to any New Yorker who needs them. New York State doesn't underestimate the impact this pandemic is having on mental health. New Yorkers can call the state's hotline at 1-844-863-9314 to get free emotional support, consultations, and referrals to a provider. Or visit headspace.com/New York for free meditation and mindfulness resources. Addiction services are also available through Project Help and Project Heron and the UJA Federation. Check the New York State website for additional programs specifically tailored to what you need. Animals for adoption. The North Hempstead Animal Shelter is open for residents to adopt furry friends looking for a loving home. The town animal shelter is open by appointment and has several dogs up for adoption. The North Hempstead Animal Shelter is located at 75 Merino Avenue in Port Washington and is open Monday through Fridays, except holidays, 9 a.m. through 4 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, appointments are required. For more information on a featured dog or to make an appointment, call 311 or 516-869-6311. The North Shore Animal League, located in Port Washington, has adoptions. This is a prime time to adopt a baby kitten. Consider visiting their website for a virtual walk and wag. Visit www.animalleague.org. Do you have books that you no longer need or want? Rather than have them end up in a landfill, why not donate your books to active duty military and veterans who can use your unwanted books? Books for Veterans is currently serving Nassau County, and you can learn more and make a donation by visiting www.booksforveterans.com. That's all for now. Thank you for watching North Shore Television, your source for local community information. In the meantime, wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands when returning home with soap and hot water, dispose of PPE appropriately in the trash, and stay safe.